Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We've got a lot to talk about with an ongoing risk of snow, possibly significant across southern England, and then we also have snow risks for the rest of the UK and Ireland into the middle and end of this week. Now, I usually don't talk about the Met Office warnings, and that's because I find it a bit pointless in the sense you can just go and check that yourself. But I thought I'd just show you that we do have an amber warning of snow across the southwest and into parts of the south, with a yellow warning, including the London area, just to basically prove for all the people that have been saying, where's the southern snow, where's the London snow, when is it going to happen? Here you go, we've got the official warnings out from the Met Office, and hopefully you guys, me included, can all see some nice snowfall tonight. In terms of my forecast though, this is the graphic showing what I roughly expect for this evening. Any areas in white could see falling snow. Obviously not everywhere here is going to see falling snow. This is just a rough approximation. Areas in blue are likely to see some accumulations. They may be patchy, especially close to coasts and across very low elevations. We're potentially looking at 1 to 3 centimetres of snow in places. Across high ground, that could be locally more. And then we've got 3 regions all across high ground, 2 in the southwest, Exmoor and Dartmoor, and then high ground to the south of London could also see snow accumulations of 47 centimetres, possibly a bit higher. Any other areas of high elevation may be seeing close to that. In terms of the current situation, I thought I'd show you some of the nice photos coming in on Twitter. This is gridlock on the A27, so not so nice, but you can see travel disruption is occurring from this event. And even the motorways are seeing settling snowfall. Newhaven in East Sussex, again, heavy ongoing snow and it's settling. This is Brighton, and you can see there, again, heavy falling snow. So right down to the coast, Brighton, this is right on the coast here, the Royal Pavilion. You can see same thing from Brighton. This is Drew Stainton. I'm not quite sure what that is, I'm afraid, but you can see heavy snow settling again. This is Kent. You kind of start to get the picture. Seaford getting snow down. In East Sussex, again, where they say we never get snow. And actually where I am right now, it's snowing outside. I've set up the time-lapse camera, so hopefully we get some nice accumulations there. In terms of the current situation on the radar though, this is the NetWeather radar, and you can see where our band of snow and precipitation is. The current extent into parts of far South Wales, central southern England, not quite in the Midlands there, but also across parts of Essex, and then basically covering all the way down to the south coast. Now, this is a result of that low pressure system we have been talking about for a couple of days now. You can see the centre of the low is located roughly somewhere in here, and that's moving now due east, slightly northeast maybe. And we talked about this morning how it looks slightly stronger than expected, and that was the case. We've had a slightly stronger band of precipitation that's also enabled the system to push slightly further north, which has just been on the right side of marginal for southern England. The result being we are having a snowfall event, possibly significant in places, and while it's not anything major, like I said, it was just enough to get this event going, and we've seen some nice results already. So a fairly unexpected shift. I talked about the possibility that the models were underdoing the vertical motion, the lift in the upper atmosphere, I think 2 days ago. I think that's probably what's happened here. I can't be sure, but that's my best guess. Models are underdoing the vertical motion, and as a result, what we've seen ongoing right now on satellite imagery that's live has been a stronger system with a better, more defined frontal band. And in terms of the current extent of the snow, first let's take a look at the wind direction. That will give you a nice sense of what's going on. We've got the winds coming in from the northeast across all of the at-risk region. That's a good sign. We want the winds to be in from the northeast. It drags in the colder air. The precipitation type, is more snow rather than rain. We also have convergence starting to develop across the channel and hints of it developing into parts of the North Sea. That's something for later. Keep your mind on that. In terms of the temperature, as a reminder, we're looking for dew points to be below 0. Across the far southwest, our dew points are now above 0, so it's too warm for snow. They got a good show in the morning, I believe. Areas further inland, you can see just cold enough for snow. Exeter, slightly on the mild side. But generally, if you're inland and slightly high enough elevation, the observations do suggest that we're looking at dew points fairly widely of 0 degrees. Even on the coast, Shoreham Airport there, 0. Into parts of Kent, we're currently looking at high dew points, 1 to 2 degrees, so that's potentially going to be a limiting factor there. So if we turn on the precipitation type, this is an estimation, remember, this is kind of an algorithm, it's not actually measuring the precipitation type, but anywhere in pink and green is likely, in my opinion, to be snowfall, and I think that's doing a pretty good job. If anything, it's underestimating it, and where I am, I'm not going to dox myself, but in North London, it's currently showing me to be in rain, and it's snowing outside. But you can see pretty much all of southern England and the southwest seeing snowfall right now with a pretty nice cover in places. Now on the north side of this band, the radar is showing precipitation, but if you take a look at some of the soundings actually let's go to the 6 o'clock run so you can see my point better. If we take a look at the here we go. I'm trying to get the chart for 3 o'clock. If you take a look at the sounding on the northern edge of that snow band, what's going to happen is you have this big dry layer. That's this big green spike where the dew point becomes much lower, the air is much drier. That's going to evaporate some of the snow which develops at the upper levels. So some of this is not going to be reaching the ground. If you're in this region, you may be seeing snowfall accumulations on the radar and be wondering why it's not snowing at the ground. That is the case. This is also going to be the northward limit to the snow band, so even if we get a decent vertical motion pushing into this region, it is going to be weakened by that dry air. So this is roughly going to be the northern extent of our significant snowfall, as you can see on this graphic there. But the heavier the rain rates are, the more likely that's going to be snow. And so this region here into parts of Kent and Essex, I'll be watching for a transition of rain to snow over the next couple of hours. And let's just play through the loop quickly to get an idea of the motion. You can see our band is still going strong, moving to the northeast. That's still happening, as you can see. So it's moving slowly to the northeast. However, what's going to start to happen is it is going to start to pivot in the sense it's going to change to an easterly. And by that point, it's not going to have any more northward component to its motion. There's hints of that already starting to happen in places. You can see this, actually something very interesting seems to be going on here. We've got a pocket of enhanced precipitation rates. That's slightly due to a feature bringing in stronger vertical motion. And you can see it's not actually following the normal direction of this of the kind of rain band, and that's because it originated here. We probably had a band of slightly stronger vertical motion here. It's tracked to the north, and then it's been caught up in this easterly wind coming in from the channel, and as a result it started to turn slightly to the west. So actually I'm going to go and say now parts of the London area possibly in for a spell of heavy snow or moderately heavy snow over the next hour or so. You can see the precipitation is starting to thin as a result of dry air to the west, but that's still moving to the northeast, and this pocket of energy right here, that's going to move east and potentially bring the main round of snow for the eastern half of this area, or the area I just circled, around kind of 6 to 10 o'clock, 6 to roughly 10 o'clock or so. So currently the area's most snow to come, the east. This is going to be still rain across East Kent, but this area seen most of the snow through the afternoon. It's still snowing now, and it will for a couple more hours, but that's going to start to transfer to the east. However, even if we look at the UKV model, take a look at this. This is the chart for 5 o'clock. So basically now, and notice how the precipitation is still completely underdone. So the models still have not caught up to the fact that we do actually have significant snow occurring. And so the fact that the models are simulating this extra push of snow into the southeast around kind of 7, 8 o'clock, I think that's a good sign, because it shows there is definitely more to come. So it's already snowing for many people in this area, but by kind of from now until, I'm going to say, it's probably 6, 7 o'clock in this zone. I mean, no, actually, probably 7, 8 o'clock in this zone, 8, 9 o'clock, and then potentially even overnight and into tomorrow will be the times that these areas clear the snowfall threat. Now, I mentioned about convergence earlier, and that's the most interesting aspect of this snow risk, in my opinion. So number one, we're going to get convergence along the south coast. You can see that here. That's probably going to increase the snow band across the very far south, and that's because this is not kind of on the map. This is a separate diagram. If you imagine the winds together coming like this, they push up. The only direction they can go is up, and vertical motion is the key for getting precipitation. So we get clouds forming there, and then that falls as snow, and you can just about see that we've got a nice band of snowfall across the far south. That's likely due to the convergence, but overnight we've got that easterly wind. We also are expecting a zone of convergence to form in the Thames estuary and out into the North Sea. And there's hints of that already happening here. And that's going to push eastwards. So possibly we are looking at the risk of convection enhanced snowfall. So snow showers are going to develop as a result of convergence in the Thames estuary and out into the North Sea, and then move inland into this region here overnight, possibly as snowfall, maybe even heavy. And you can see hints of that on the UKV. Now remember, the high resolution models, even the UKV model, are bad at picking up on convective snow risks, but the fact it's got this signal here that's showing heavy snow showers, or right along the Essex coast, I'm afraid it's probably not going to be snow. I'm really sorry, just because the mild air is going to be making inroads. But anywhere kind of west of this line here, that could be falling as heavy snow around maybe 8, 9 o'clock tonight. And that's possibly going to continue into tomorrow morning. You can see even here, 11 o'clock, continued risk of snow showers across the southeast, going even into maybe 3, 4 a.m. tomorrow. So that's definitely something to look out for. If we take a sounding on the GFS, just see what's up with that. So this is 9 o'clock. Let's see. So you can see we've got steep lapse rates for the first kind of kilometre and a bit. So the convection will be very shallow. It's not going to be anything magically very, very deep. But there's the possibility for some very shallow topped heavy snow showers with the lapse rate decently steep enough. Coming in on an easterly wind. That easterly wind could be a bit stronger if we're trying to be kind of ideal about things. But I think that just might be enough to tip the scales over with regards to the snow risk. So this sort of zone here, London, into parts of the southeast, and especially across high ground, could see further snowfall overnight as that snow band clears to the east. So overall, a pretty interesting event going on, and definitely nice that we've got unexpected snowfall. Please do ask in the comments location-specific questions, or questions which are specific to you, because I've tried to ramble on this video and cover quite a lot of bases, but that's just obviously not possible. I can't talk about every town in the south. So do comment and I can try and give you more info about the snow risk. And also do say if it's snowing where you are right now, because that helps a lot with the kind of verification of whether it's snowing or not, whether this is accurate or not. I think it's probably on the conservative side. But in summary, for the south, could be a decent snow risk, could be a decent snow event by we wake up tomorrow morning. A dusting to a couple of centimetres is possible across a fairly large region, including populated areas in London and the southeast. Now, in terms of the rest of the week, moving away from the southeast, because I know many people are not interested, I just at the same time also know a lot of the viewers are from the south, so I want to hear that kind of thing. We are going to remain in a northerly flow Thursday into Friday, and you can see that there. Northerly winds on Thursday, so continued risk of snow showers across the north of Scotland and as well into parts of Northern Ireland, across the northern coasts. So we'll just ruin that pen there. So you can see continued snow showers across Northern Ireland and parts of northern Scotland, especially across northern, basically across coasts. That's where your risk is highest. Now, the last possibly significant snow risk is going to come on Friday, and that's because our high pressure, which has been propping up this nice regime of cold weather for a very long time, or basically since the new year, so 8-9 days, that's going to drift into the UK itself. So the air will still be cold by Friday, Saturday, but the winds will not be strong. The snow showers will cease. At the same time, we're going to have a low pressure system pushing up from the southwest. And as that precipitation bumps into the cold air, we're potentially looking at snowfall predominantly across Central Ireland and the southwest. Now, there is still model uncertainty. Just like the last event, take a look at the icon. You can see much reduced snow risk, just a small dusting of snow across Central Ireland and the very far southwest. Similar thing on the ARPEGE model, the French high resolution model, as you can see there. So this is suggesting not much of a snow risk. Now, model uncertainty, it's very high, so I don't want to go either way. The one thing I would say to consider is the GFS was right about the last event. I'm probably leaning to giving it more credit this time, especially since the high pressure itself will be weakened by this low moving through. So it will be slightly weaker, and that will probably enable the system to make slightly better inroads. So I would watch Friday for possibly some snowfall across the southwest, far from a guarantee, and I'll do an update on that tomorrow and of course on Friday if I can. Now, beyond that, the cold and snow risk, I'm afraid, ceases from then. It will still be feeling chilly, and it will be dry and settled, at least across the eastern half of the UK. That's because we've got high pressure in play by Saturday. But as we move into the next week, we're possibly looking at something a bit more typical. Mild air making inroads, unsettled across the north. And then by that point, we don't really know what's going to happen. Potentially further signals for cold the second half of January, but that's something to wait and see for. So that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you see snow across the south, and also across parts of Central Ireland and from snow showers in Scotland and Northern Ireland, enjoy your snow risk and have a great day. Bye-bye.